My ability to lose tools within 5 seconds just astounds me sometimes. Hey Al, and welcome to the garage. If you're new to the channel, please take a moment to subscribe, and here we are, back with my 65 Chevy Corvair. As you remember in our last video, we started repairing the rust holes in the heel of the fender. Now, as you remember, the rust was a bit more of a problem than I thought. So now, today's project, we have got to sand this all nice and smooth, scuff some of this up so it's ready for paint, and go over this with glazing putty. So, without further ado, let's get to it. So in our last installment, we covered these rust holes with short strand fiberglass. This is now hardened overnight. We've got to smooth this out. We've also got to scuff this up and prepare it for paint. Unlike the butch job I did on my 2009 Corolla, this actually has to look good. Or is somewhat good. So we're going to smooth this out. We're going to fill in the low spots with this Bondo glazing and spot putty. And I'm going to hit this with some 180, get it nice and smooth. And use my uncle's test for smoothness, which I'll tell you in a little bit. Unlike me, my uncle, who was an IndyCar crew chief, is actually quite good at both mechanical and body work. I clearly didn't get all of his genes. Some of you probably think I didn't get any of them. Now, I temporarily coated this with some Rust-Oleum rust reformer. That's just because we're here in South Carolina. It's very humid, no matter what time of year it is. So this is 180. I was using 80 the other day, but I want to be less aggressive this time and just get things smooth. And we'll just keep going up with the grits. My uncle's test is you run your pinky over it. And if you feel anything catch, then you gotta keep going. Rust is very much a worthy adversary of the classic car owner. And trying to sand surfaces that are not flat or even, it can be a tall order. Really, the way to do this would be with a DA, but I don't own one or a compressor powerful enough to run one just yet. I am hoping one day when this channel does get monetized, if it ever gets monetized, that yeah, we could actually do a better job of this stuff. The real bottom here is going to be the real problem. That's going to need icing. There's some that didn't stick. Wow, that's going to be a nightmare and a half to sand down. Okay. We just take off all the excess that got on here. You can see where they painted it blue. Under here. I think we should time... I'll just get back to you with the miracle of editing. There's a better angle for you. This is a whole lot of ugly right now, but... yeah, body work is a process. I'm new at this. Yeah, we got low spots still that we really need to sand down. before we can attack it with this stuff. Let's hit this. I can run my finger over it, it's smooth. That's the test. Or the fiberglass is just too low and we have to fill that in with the glazing putty. Let's just clean this up a little bit. Yep, that's going to require the glazing putty to fill that in. Okay, so we've got our glazing putty here, glazing and spot putty. We have our spreader thingy. Where did I put it? Probably sitting on the darn thing. My ability to lose tools within 5 seconds just astounds me sometimes. There it is. Wasn't quite sitting on it, but close. I'm gonna try just a littlest dab. In the least conspicuous part of this project. Oh, jeez. I thought the fumes from the other stuff was bad. Oh, mama. Okay. This seems a little easier to work with. Hey, this seems a lot easier to work with. You actually need to go in the hole. There we go. No, that's not good. That's perfect. That is it. Just what I want, filling in the low spots. Let's just wipe some of that excess. Use the other side of the spreader to... Well, that'll have to be sanded off. It seems like I just keep going higher with the paint. Okay. This is good. This is good. Little of this stuff goes a very long way. Tiniest bit on here. We'll attack this nasty bit. This will, of course, all have to be sanded again, but this is getting us closer to where we want to be. All right. That still looks a tiny bit low over here. Just a bit low. Let's get it where it needs to go. Fill in. There's just like one little hole that just doesn't want to fill. I'm slathering this stuff everywhere. And I think that's about got it. Now this has to dry for about 20 to 25 minutes before we can work with it. Time for some more noxious fumes in here. Let's get out the primer and go over this. My wife having her car in this garage now overcomplicates things vis-a-vis painting. Got this nice primer sealer from Rust-Oleum. That is what we're going to go over this with. Give it a little test spray on some blank paper. quite where I wanted it, but okay, crud. Should have masked in down here. Well, good thing we caught that in time. There's the carb cleaner. We'll just get that off before it sets. Good thing this was ceramic, so it won't stick to that. And we'll just put a piece of newspaper on there. And, well, crud. I nicked this up with the sandpaper pretty good here, so that is going to have to get painted. I mean, yeah, there's some runs. This is going to have to get sanded. Right. So the guide coat here is kind of dried on here for a while, mainly because I ran out of time to take the kids to their karate class. That sandpaper's no good. So, step to the next is we are going to just start sanding that. Just tear off a piece of sandpaper. About 400 grit again. That's about as aggressive as I dare go with this. I'm going to do this the right way and not cut it with scissors, because that's how you ruin scissors. This is the correct way to do this. And it ain't working. What is it? Nuts. All right. Pull up the old sanding block. Again, if I had an air board, this would be wonderful. But this is a very small part of the car. You know, kind of need the precision here. Now, certainly tell where the low spot, and we went right through the bare metal here. Not good. This part is actually higher up. There's a lip here. I'm trying to do this stuff on an imperfect surface. You know, it's a little daunting. But there's runs and everything in this. It needs to be, you know, smoothed out. Actually, up here. I need to reshoot that. Can't be at night because my wife's car is in the garage and can't get overspray on it. That would be bad. Wow. Sandpaper just gums up almost instantly. Let's use this good bit here. I think you just need a smaller piece. That's not aggressive enough. Need about, what else we got up here? 220, 180. Let's go with 220 and see what we do. Well, for a while there, it actually looked like I knew what I was doing, but come on, look who you're talking to. really want is just to get this primer nice and even. Like I said, it's not a butch job like the Corolla, but it's not Concours either. Yeah, this sandpaper just gunks up real quick. Here's a low spot right here. Here. I think we got all the runs and everything out of it. I think this is definitely going to be good enough for government work. This right here will show through. Oh, shoot, I'm getting down to the icing again. Can't do that. The heck? I don't even have my keys on me and my wife's car is making noises. This panel's a hot mess anyway. I think we're gonna just tack cloth that. Reshoot it real quick with a fresh coat of primer. Call it good enough. Yeah, that looks much better. Nice and even. Poor tack cloth is just about at the end of its life. I've gotten my money's worth out of it. That's for sure. Find a clean spot on it. There we go. There we are. Perfect. I'm going to call that done. There's the tack cloth. Clean that off. All right. Going to let that dry. And tomorrow we paint. We will lay on our final coat. That should look good. And the moment you've all been waiting for. This is sanded nice and smooth. Low spots are taken care of. We're going to use some of this Rust-Oleum Farm and Implement paint. Fortunately, Mother Nature played a dirty trick on me and the temperature has dropped. You know what? I'm going to use my pistol grip attachment. If you're going to paint a car with rattle cans, one of these is your friend. They're cheap, they snap on, and then it's like using a gun. I was saying, I guess it's not going to work for me. There it goes. Do a little test spritz, and that's an example of how not to do it. Gotta overlap it so you don't tiger stripe. Oh, no. That's not going on well. That right there is a problem. Oh, that's going to have to get sanded. It's fisheyeing like crazy. Well, that ain't good. We'll have to shoot some more on here, and we are going to have to sand. So right here it's coming out nice, but there's some fish eyes in it, but that is bad. Right there. That'll have to get sanded and reshot. We got a run up here. We'll have to sand and shoot again.